Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be going over all of the things that I got in October of 2021, which of course was a few months ago now, and as usual I'm always way behind on all of these haul videos, so please excuse me for that. My plan is to do the October one here now, and then of course we'll be doing the November one very soon, because that's going to have all the stuff I got from the Criterion sale, as well as Black Friday, and then of course all the things I got within that month. And then I will kind of keep December and January together, because that'll include all the stuff from the holiday season as well as all the stuff I get in the new year, and then that'll probably, get me up to date on all of these videos. Plus, of course, there will be more reviews coming and all that kind of stuff here on the new Chasing Labels YouTube channel. So for those of you who don't know, Chasing Labels is my podcast that I co-host along with my friend Stephen Billings. The link for it will be down below. Without further ado, let's get into all of the comic book related items that I got basically up and through November or so. There's a lot here because there was about a 3-month period where I just did not go to my local comic book store, so please bear with me on just the sheer amount of comics that I have. This first crop of comics here is from DC Comics, and it is part of a miniseries of Shazam, and it is a 4-part miniseries, and I have issues 2, 3, and issue 4. I believe I already have number 1 from a previous haul. I'm basically just getting caught up with that. Also, you may notice that I did get a new lighting setup here, so things are going to be a little bit different. I'm still adjusting, still doing all of those kinds of things. If you have any suggestion as to how to make the lighting better, it is a 2-light setup, so keep that in mind, but I'm all open to suggestions. And these next crop of comics are the Firefly comics from Boom Studios. Here is, I believe, a one-shot of River Run, or maybe just a new kind of spin-off series. And next is another issue and a part of a spin-off series, and this is Firefly Brand New Verse issue number 6. And then we have the Firefly main series issue 31. And then we have issue 32. And then we have issue 33. Next up is a bunch of Marvel Comics titles, all of them in the X-Men universe, so get ready for a lot of this. So first up here is Inferno number 1. Then we have Inferno number 2. And then we have The Trial of Magneto number 1. And then we have the X-Men, I believe, main series. This is the Jerry Duggan run, I believe. And this is issue number 2. And then we have New Mutants number 21. And then we have Trial of Magneto number 2. And we have the X-Men main series issue number 3. And we have New Mutants issue number 22. And then we have X-Men issue number 4 of the main series. And we have Trial of Magneto number 3. And that is everything when it comes to comic books. Now let's get into all of the movie-related items that I got in October. And first up here is the Arrow limited edition Blu-ray of Ridley Scott's Legend. Now this is a movie that I've had in my collection for many years, and it's a movie that I actually really like. I'm just a big fan of Ridley Scott in general, and this is a super deluxe edition. It is not a UHD 4K edition. There are some technical reasons why they could not do a UHD edition of this film. This is still a gorgeous edition, just filled with stuff and all kind of special features. It is a 2-disc set. It contains both the US theatrical cut as well as the director's cut. Next up is one of my favorite films of 2021. I do consider it a 2021 film because I believe it did technically premiere early on this year in more mainstream fashion, and that is Judas and the Black Messiah. And then next up is Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho in the UHD 4K version. And like I said in my previous haul video, I did get Vertigo as well as Rare Window, so now I have Psycho, and I believe all I need now is The Birds to be caught up on the current crop of the re-releases of Alfred Hitchcock's film in 4K, and all of them look fantastic. And like I said in that whole video, they kind of desperately needed some type of remastered restoration and just reissue, because those early Blu-rays that we got about a decade ago just don't cut it. They just really don't. Next up is another 4K UHD release, and this is Transformers the Movie, so with some animation action. And this is, of course, the film that came out in 1986. This is a film that came out while the original animated series was still running. I believe it took place after season 2 of that original show. And yeah, this is a classic and a beloved film for many, many people who grew up during that era, and many people now, so it really doesn't matter when you grew up. So this is really cool. I can't wait to check this out. I've had this on DVD for over a decade and just never watched it, so this will be a first time watch for me. And then finally here in this stack is a Predator 4-movie collection, and this contains Predator, Predator 2, Predators, and the Predator film, which came out a few years ago, which I actually did a review here for on the channel when I saw it in the theater at the time. And the reason why I actually bought this is because I really wanted the original Predator film finally released in a good quality release. The previous Blu-ray editions were just awful. The DVDs, of course, outdated, and I just really wanted it, and this was on sale for a really good price at Best Buy, I believe. And also, I really like Predator 2, and I don't mind Predators. I really don't. It's the most recent film which wasn't the best. There were a lot of reshoots and re-edits and postponements with that movie that kind of really killed it. But still, the first film still holds up as just great 80s action sci-fi horror. So next up here is the most recent film by director Sofia Coppola. And Sofia Coppola is actually one of my favorite directors, and this is her film On the Rocks, of course, starring Bill Murray, as well as Rashida Jones. And I thought this was a really good film. You can actually stream this on Apple TV Plus if you have that. I believe they acquired the distribution rights sometime last year or previously to that, and I thought it was really good. Next up is a limited edition UHD 4K re-release by Arrow Video of Dario Argento's Deep Red. And for those of you following these haul videos here on the channel, I previously got Bird with Crystal Plumage as well as Cat o' Nine Tails, and now I have Deep Red. And I believe they're also releasing Phenomena as well in this specific edition, but only in the UK, so you have to kind of import it from there. So I'm probably going to get that as well, and I'm really enjoying kind of all of these re-releases. I missed out on a lot of these limited edition Blu-ray releases from a few years ago, so I'm glad to get some collector's retribution when it comes to things like that. So moving on from there, we have some kind of single movie releases on Blu-ray. First up is a Shout Select release of the film noir This Gun for Hire, starring Veronica Lake. And next is a film starring Boris Karloff, and this is Isle of the Dead, put out by Warner Archive. Next is another film noir, and this is The Postman Always Rings Twice, starring Lana Turner and John Garfield. I have had this in my Amazon saved for later cart for many years now, and I finally pulled the trigger on it, and I finally got it, and I'm actually really glad to have it in my collection. Big fan of Lana Turner, big fan of John Garfield, and yeah, I can't wait to give this a rewatch. Next up is a film by one of my all-time favorite directors, and this is a DVD to Blu-ray upgrade of Lost Highway, starring Bill Pullman as well as Patricia Arquette, and this is a film by the great David Lynch, and this is a really phenomenal film. Unfortunately for this edition here, you don't really have much of anything in the way of special features or anything like that. There was a whole hubbub around this release when it came out at the time, so at least the movie looks good on this Blu-ray. And actually, I should probably specify that with Lost Highway, this starts a group of 6 films that I bought in the Kino Lorber Studio Classics Rocktober sale. They like to have nice, cool, themed names for some of their sales. I also got one from their Winter Wonderland series towards the end of the year as well, but I'll get to that when I get to that haul video. And next up is Mark of Zorro from that sale. And this is a film starring Tyrone Power, as well as Linda Darnell and Basil Rathbone. And I've always been a fan of this film, and I just wanted it on Blu-ray, just getting more Tyrone Power on Blu-ray and in the collection as well. Next is a film by Anthony Mann starring Jimmy Stewart, and this is Bend of the River. And I've been trying to collect all of the Jimmy Stewart, Anthony Mann westerns, because I think they are really great films. They're different look at Jimmy Stewart as an actor, him really stretching his range and really proving how he's just one of the greatest actors of all time. Next is a film starring the late great Sidney Poitier, and this is Lilies of the Field. This is the film in which he won his Academy Award for. It's not In the Heat of the Night or Guess Who's Coming to Dinner like maybe a lot of people think. It is actually a film he did earlier to those films, Lilies of the Field. This is a DVD to Blu-ray upgrade for me, and I'm super glad to make that upgrade. And yeah, just watch as much Sidney Poitier as you possibly can. And then here we have another Jimmy Stewart Western, and this is Shenandoah. And this was a really dark and kind of gritty Western done later in his career, done in 1965. So this is an older, more grizzled Jimmy Stewart in this film. And then lastly from that sale is a film called Career Opportunity starring Jennifer Connelly as well as Frank Whaley. This is a 90s comedy from 1991, and it's a film I've actually always wanted to see and never have had the opportunity up until now. So I'm glad I got this in the collection. And then lastly here is a Blu-ray box set. It is the Columbia Noir No. 3 Blu-ray box set from Indicator. This was a just fantastic release, one of the best releases of the year in my opinion, and these sets in general are just fantastic sets. Each movie, it comes on its own small digipack. They all are loaded with special features, and there is a Columbia Noir No. 4, and I wouldn't be surprised if we get subsequent releases after that, because these sets sell extremely well, they're incredibly well done, and the films in it are really seeing their premiere on Blu-ray, and I'm just glad to have them in better quality. So that is this great set here. So that is my entire haul from October of 2021. Thank you all for watching, and if there's anything you want to see in any more depth, please let me know. And if you like this video, please check out the other videos on my channel and subscribe.